right, everybody, what's happening, man? How y'all doing out there today? And welcome to another edition of SWAC Smoke. Week 12 is coming up. Man, the season is almost over. How you doing today, DJ?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. It was pretty wild weekend. SWAC football. We got a lot to discuss.
Oh yeah, man, lot to talk about. Another big coaching move taking place. And all the craziness that happened on the field this weekend and did not happen on the field this weekend, and a couple big games coming up this week. So it's gonna be a full jam-packed show, man. I hope y'all all are buckled in and ready to go because we gonna pretty much hit the ground. And there go my we already got Los J in the house. So I always gotta say what's up to Los J, man. Welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy. And let's go ahead and get this thing going, man.
All right. We're gonna start off recapping last week. First game we got on the list is Bethune-Cookman Grambling. Grambling all bad again. 4 turnovers by Grambling. BCU didn't play the best game statistically, but with 4 turnovers, hey, you got to win those, which probably ultimately led to the firing of Roger Fobbs. Just a tough season, but we'll get into that in a little bit. You got anything on that?
Yeah, man. I don't understand what they were doing at Grambling with the whole quarterback situation. If you have a guy in Noah Biden that you're gonna play early, why worry about redshirting him at the end of the season? And play quarterbacks who cannot move the football. Grambling's offense looked the best that they had all year when he played, and then once they set him down, the offense went back to what it was. They played John Paul Pierce the last 2 games, and the offense is still the same. It's rough in Grambling right now, and like you said, Coach Fobbs is gone, and we'll talk about that in a few. But this was a really, really bad season for Grambling, man, and it's limping toward the finish line.
Bad year for Grambling in the spring.
Oh yeah, so if you count spring and fall, their record right now is I think 2-12 or something like that, or 3-12. Is not good, man. You know, it's rough. It's been a rough 2021, so they have to restart and regroup.
All right. A game that you and James picked, Mississippi Valley versus Alabama State. Uh, Man, and Jelani Eason passed for 315. I'm sure that may be a season high. I'm not sure. I don't know the record on that, but Jacoby Thomas, he's listed as a linebacker, rushed for 88 yards, 3 touchdowns for Valley. I think that was an awesome game by them. Ryan Nettles, your boy Ryan Nettles, 3 interceptions. I mean, Valley defense stepped up and forced 3 interceptions. I mean, it just was probably one of the most complete games by Valley this year.
Yeah, offensively for sure, 44 points. I in my wildest dreams, I did not expect Valley to put up points like that. Jelani Eason, like you said, 300 plus yards, 280 plus yard touchdown passes. That was the game of the year for Valley, and I'm impressed, man. And Valley made a commitment this week to Coach Dancy, so they are gonna still try to build, man. Valley is gonna be, as long as Dancy is on their sideline, Valley is gonna be a force to be reckoned with. Where Alabama State goes from here, I don't know. This was a game that you needed to win. You couldn't do it. Technically you got blowed out. Losing the Valley by double digits is a blowout. So you got blowed out by Valley, and now where you go from here. We don't know. So we'll see what the Hornets do.
All right, PV and Alcorn. I kind of figured this was gonna happen. I picked Alcorn to win this. PV played really good. They had the better numbers statistically. outside of the turnovers. Pass, Juwan pass, 69% completion rate and 3 TDs. To Trigger Man, 64%, 2 TDs. But those costly fumbles, PV turned the ball over twice, ultimately cost them the game. But really good game by both squads, honestly. PV just slipped up this week.
Yeah, I mean, for a battle between the top two teams in the West Division, it lived up to the billing at the end. I thought Alcorn was gonna run away with this when I first saw it. I first saw the score and heard about the game. Alcorn was basically dominating, and I was like, man, they might run these dudes out the stadium. But Prairie View, they fought, they got themselves back in the game, and had a chance to win it and let it slip out their hands. Um, so it's not a lot to be up, to hang your head about it. If Prairie View, I mean, obviously it's bad to lose, but you had opportunity to win. But Alcorn is a champion, man, and they're gonna fight. They've proven that they are gonna fight to the end, and you just have to strap up and be ready. But Prairie View still got a good shot, but Alcorn they played a good game Saturday.
All right, FAMU, Arkansas Pine Bluff. FAMU they went out and had fun. That was a tune-up game. Almost like a money game versus a lower opponent, what it looked like. I watched a little bit of that game, but Rashawn McKay had a big day, 5 TDs. Skylar Perry, he looked like the Skylar Perry of old, of earlier this season, 3 interceptions. And also, check this stat, 13 total rushing yards by UAPB. 13 yards an entire game.
That is not against a conference opponent.
What are you doing? You can't get more than 13 yards.
13 yards against a conference opponent. I know FAMU's defense is really good, but this is you can basically fall forward for 20 yards over the course of a game. Right. A couple yards here, a couple yards there. I don't get it. Your quarterback is a runner. He can't scramble for 15 yards. It was domination, man. FAMU, they dominated this game. Like, I don't even know if Pine Bluff even showed up. FAMU did not have to do anything. Games like this, I call them Bama blowouts because it's 37-7 is bad, but it's not bad.
No.
It looks worse because the defense just smothers you. And like you said, Rashawn McKay, 5 touchdowns. The dude is doing his job, man. I know he's not flashy, and I know most people not really high on him, but he's doing what they ask him to do, and he's getting better as the season goes on. So to me, that's a scary thought. If McKay can put it together, then FAMU is going to be very, very tough.
All right. I want to highlight Los J on this game. Alabama, A&M, TSU. I think the defense has stayed in the locker room. We might as well call it 7-on-7. But Ladarius Owens, once again, 14 yards per carry. I mean, the guy is just tearing it up. Both quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, they all did well in this game. I just feel like there was no defense whatsoever. But I do have a question I want to ask you and Los J. I believe he watches them pretty close. When I watch Andrew Body, I hope that. Well, let me start out by saying this: it's working. He's doing well, but the way he throws the ball, his release, kind of makes me nervous. Sometimes is almost like he's aiming and it's so slow you can kind of see a mile away where he's about to throw. I know he's a freshman. I just want to know if TSU has a good quarterback coach down there that can continue to develop his raw talent.
Yeah, that's to me, I'm not real familiar with their staff as a whole, so I can't really say yes or no. But to me, his development as a quarterback is definitely going to hinge on that kind of stuff, taking that next level step. Because he can do right now, he can go out there and he can make plays and he can run the ball and he can throw it. And they had the weapons, but like you said, for him to take that step to be an elite SWAC quarterback, he's gonna have to be coached up because all quarterbacks go through it, but he's gonna have to
Right.
be coached up. And I don't know if they got a guy on the staff that can do that. Like I said, I'm not familiar, so hopefully we can get some word from the TSU people. But I do want to say while we at that point, at least somebody's coach played a guy named Ladarius on Saturday, man.
Yeah.
I'm not even going. Obviously, I'm not going to jump the gun on that, but I just I just had to throw that out there because it's just the Ladarius Owens, man, is a beast running the ball, man. I mean, I've heard his name the last couple of years, but he came out of nowhere. And here go Los J chiming in for us right now.
Okay. Hey, if it works for him, it works for him. I mean, even if that doesn't change, of course, he's still going to have to be developed because teams are going to they're going to have a whole season of film or a half season of film on him, probably 3/4 of film, and that's how we tell what people are going to do. If you can do it that next year, the year after that, you're going to be all right. But that first year normally, when you catch people off guard. But yeah, it does look kind of weird, and it just makes me nervous when I see him throw the ball. But if it works, it works. I'm not,
Oh yeah, like I just love the way that team as a whole, especially that offense.
Oh yeah,
They have so much confidence, man. When I look at the stats, the conference stats, they're third and fourth, even second in the conference in all offensive statistics. And a lot of people don't realize that because it's Texas Southern, and so that offense is honestly probably second to Alabama A&M in terms of most explosive offenses in the league. And they can run and throw. And if they continue to grow with that team being young like that, next year is going to be a problem for a lot of people. But they have to play some defense. That defense cannot give up the yardage and points like they have done for the most part of the season. So, but we see Owens. Hopefully, he's not in the doghouse no more. I think he ran his way out of it. So, whatever he did, man, please tell him don't do it no more because I like to see him run.
Shout out to Texas Southern and Mississippi Valley. I'm really happy to see them teams fight week in and week out. And like Big Thrillo said, UAPB look like they mentally checked out. I'm glad to see Valley, TSU. They've been taking some tough losses last minute, last second, but they continue to come out and fight every week. They haven't laid down, so big ups to them for that. All right, we're gonna move on to the Jsu Southern game. No second half touchdowns again by Southern. Not a terrible game by Bubba, but not super awesome either. What happened to Kobe Dillon? I want to know why he isn't playing. I know he was nursing an injury, but I believe he probably healthy again. The defense gave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll let keep going.
Yeah, I'm just questions just going through my head. The defense gave Shedeur fits all night. Probably the worst game statistically he'd played all year. He was just off balance all night. Credit to Southern defense. They forced 3 turnovers, but this is one of my questions right here. I listened to Jason Rollins on either the SWAC, I think it was the SWAC conference coaches meeting every Monday that they have. The man said that when he was asked about Skelton, he said Skelton was in the game, started the game due to Jackson State's defensive package. He said they had a package for Skelton if Jackson State used certain personnel and a package for Bubba. How in the world did he know what they was going to run to start the game? You haven't seen a package. So stop lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get on these folks' show like we just stupid, But he looks like he's nervous, he's scared, he's out of it. He don't need to be on nobody's sideline, man, right now. He need to, I don't know. I'm going to let you take it from here, but Rollins need to be out, and statistically, Southern should have won that game.
All right. First off, Congratulations to Jackson State winning the East Division for the first time in 8 years. Congratulate, Congratulations on finally beating Southern in 8 years. Shador, even though he had a rough game, man, the dude is the truth. I think he's gonna be a star. Um, Out of their receivers, Malachi Wideman, man, that dude is in the weight room, I guess, because he bullied Southern's receiver on that last touchdown. James Houston, tough. All right, that's all my positives. Rollins, if y'all remember that meme where the dude was like, why you lying? I don't know if y'all remember that. This was a few years ago, but anytime he says anything to me, man, it doesn't seem truthful. I heard that comment about Skelton. Um, Skelton was always going to be a factor in that game if you play him because Jackson State's defense is super aggressive. Southern runs a lot of option when Skelton is out there and misdirection. You can take advantage of that. One thing I noticed, and I love Bubba, and I've said this all the time, but when Bubba's on the field, Southern's offense, and my nephew told me this, I didn't notice it, but the offense slows down tremendously, man. We don't play with any tempo when Bubba's out there. So you're going to have a lot of sustained long drives, but against Jackson State defense, you can't do that. I don't understand, man, I guess it's personal now. I hate to say that kind of thing, but I guess it's personal between Skelton and him. And if you watch the game, you saw they had a little exchange on the sideline when he took him out. So he pulled him out on 3rd and 15. That don't sound like a package change.
Yeah.
That and then you never put him back in at any point in the game, not even on the goal line when they had that 4th and 1. That series guy, you put him in, he scored.
He's gonna score. He's gonna score. The guy has a nose for the end zone. You put him in the red zone, he gonna get in there. Come on, man.
Every possession, every game that Southern's played Skelton in, and they play him in that short yardage situation, it's a touchdown. You have to account for him, man. You cannot. You don't have to worry about Bubba when he got the ball, unless it's a scramble. Bubba run an option, man. He pitched the ball before the defensive end even get to him. Skelton's gonna make that man have to commit one way or the other, and that's just a problem, man. Rollins, I think is a nice guy. I don't know, never met him, but coaching at Southern is not his thing. And thank goodness he'll be gone after the Classic. No offense, but that's just not the right fit for him right now.
Man, I don't even want to get back on that, man. But yeah, that 4th and 1, he don't want to win. Apparently, if you got that much against that particular player, either remove him from the team or what. But if you're gonna have him on the sideline, I don't know what point you're trying to prove, but whatever, man. It get me upset.
Oh, and one more thing. Speaking of upset, that whole mess after the game, and I'm not gonna talk about it much because my feelings have changed back and forth. I still blame Coach Rollins for that, man. I think Southern team has been undisciplined all year, and that was just a microcosm of it. I really was upset at the game, man. They had to get me out of there. It was just horrible, man. I just don't like that kind of stuff. I mean, you got to defend your field. I get it. I don't like nobody stomping on my logo and none of that, but it should never get to the point where punches are thrown or whatever. So, just want to leave that alone, man. You don't do, the flag thing. Yes, it's disrespectful, but as Southern, you have to have some kind of restraint because your season has been a really bad one, and you just have not looked good. So I think they just need to really, really focus and get disciplined.
I gotta weigh in on that one, just from a player standpoint. It don't matter what kind of season you have. You don't, as a man, you could be a terrible, sorry dude. You might not go to work or whatever, but you ain't finna let nobody disrespect you as a man. So, and I'll share this little quick story. My boy was a player. He played at UAPB football and baseball. And so in baseball, supposedly, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but he says unwritten rule to where the other team doesn't walk through your batting practice or whatever. Somebody did that. He said his coach went off on them and punished them for not defending their area. So those are unwritten rules that I mean, you just don't tolerate. I'm not an advocate for violence, but at the end of the day, we know how it is playing sports. You just don't tolerate that. So, I mean, I can kind of feel where y'all coming from, but just that once you start taking disrespect, I don't see you coming back from it. So,
Oh, like I said, don't get me wrong. Now, I totally understand. Like I say, I'm big on protecting home, and like I was very upset when Pablo jumped on our logo and Southern didn't even walk that direction. But I think for me, it was just the way the team has been this year. And like you say, it don't matter if you're a player. The season don't matter. But for me as a fan, it really bothered me in that instance. But like you said, if you let one team do it, everybody gonna do it. It's like if you let somebody walk in your house and jump on your sofa and don't do nothing,
yeah,
everybody gonna do
yeah,
it when they come to your house.
yeah.
So you have to protect home. And if your slogan is protect the bluff, then you got to do it. But I just at that point in time, I was not happy with it.
All right. So we'll move on to next week. So we won't hold up too much time. We're gonna start off with Prairie View and Texas A&M. We Texas A&M gonna handle business. PV. That's what PV. This game is not needed at this time of the season. You brought that up earlier this year. Like these money games at this point in the season, they cannot afford to lose nobody.
Yeah, with a big game next week against Valley and your division hopes on the line, I mean, obviously they didn't know that when they scheduled this game, and I heard somebody say that this game is scheduled because they are part of A&M system, and they're gonna play this game every 5 years or something like that. But play it week one. Well, not week one, week two, because you got the Labor Day Classic. Play it week two. Get it out the way, and just play SWAC games for the rest of the season, man. Obviously I'm going Aggies.
All right. Alcorn, Jackson State. I think I'm gonna go. I can't go against Jackson State till I get proven otherwise. I'm actually rooting for Alcorn, but I got to pick Jackson State.
Yeah, like you say, Jackson State, they have found a way to win every game that they played other than the ULM game. And they've done it in multiple ways. They've blown out a couple teams. They had last minute comebacks. They had a defensive stand against Delta State. But their offense, as long as their passing game has any life in it, they're gonna win because their receivers are all pretty much big and strong, except for maybe Newman. He's a smaller guy, a quick guy, but Shadur is gonna put the ball where it needs to go, and you have to make them run the ball. That's first and foremost. But if you can't make them run the ball because you're shutting down the pass game, then you got problems. Alcorn, the offensive line is not good, so I think Jackson gonna have they're gonna get pressure on the trigger man. But Felix Harper can use his legs, so we'll see. Alcorn has a good running game, but I'm going Jackson State.
Alabama A&M, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Another tune-up game for A&M, I'm assuming. Now, granted, A&M defense didn't show up this past week. But PV, they just so bad, man. I don't expect much still, even playing against the air. I think they somehow screwed it up.
They probably would, man. If you told somebody like right now that didn't watch the season that this team was in the SWAC championship in the spring, they probably curse you out if they looked at the record. And it's not that big of a personnel difference. People say guys hit the portal, but most of the key guys are still there. I look at the coaches. They whatever's going on with their team, they mentally gone. And this is the last game of the season, so I don't even know if they're gonna get off the bus mentally. So I think A&M is gonna roll.
All right. Texas Southern, Alabama State. I got to ride with Texas Southern on this one. I just think Bama State they done for the season too, and Texas Southern I think that I think they got too much for Alabama State right now.
Yeah, Texas Southern offense, man. I think it's gonna be a nice little battle early between the Texas Southern offense, Alabama State defense. but I think the offense is going to be able to score, and Alabama State is not going to be able to keep up. It's probably going to be a shootout, unless Texas Southern defense come to play. But I love Texas Southern offense, so I think they're going to win.
All right. FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, good old Florida Classic. I think FAMU break the streak this year. I just don't think BCU got enough to beat FAMU right now.
I think FAMU going to win. They have to. I mean, you don't want to lose to nobody 10 years straight. So
Yeah.
I think just on the strength of that, they're going to stand up and win. But Bethune-Cookman going to fight. I mean, obviously it's a rivalry game, so you can all the cliches, you can throw the records out the window or whatever. They're going to fight. But that FAMU defense is so nasty that I think they're gonna beat them. And that 2-game streak Bethune-Cookman has is gonna end on Saturday. So I'm not gonna even clown them because they could be over coming into this game, but they found a way to win. But FAMU is on a different level. They on a mission. And I'm gonna touch on that real quick. If since I'm going Rattlers, you going Rattlers. You heard people talking about FAMU playoff chances. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know much about the details of it, but I think if they go, I think they're going to be a one and done. I think they're going to lose. Because more than likely they're going to play a top seed when they go. I don't think they're to that point yet, but I'll be happy for them if that's what they desire to do. But I think they go one and done.
Yeah, that offense really, like I said, I think the offense is getting better week in and week out. But I think it's gonna all depend on matchups. And when you play on any level of sports, when you play in the postseason and you have to go to somebody else stadium or gym, strange things tend to happen. Those calls that you get at home, you don't get no more. It's tough. We've seen it multiple times with a bunch of different teams. You go on the road in the playoffs, all of a sudden you're not playing the way that you normally would. But I think FAMU has a good shot. I don't know if they're gonna get any love by the committee because they haven't won any games outside of SWAC football and the Fort Valley game. So I think it's gonna be, if they make it, I think there's gonna be a good indication that SWAC football is getting better. But I'm not really really sure about that. And let me throw this comment on the screen. And I know a lot of people feel this way. You can talk this all day long, to the cows come home, but it's certain, some people pushing it. I think FAMU is pushing it. I feel like if you really was hung up on the playoffs, you should have stayed in the MEAC and convinced them to lead a Celebration Bowl because I think it's easier for them than for us. So if you come in over here, then you gotta kind of abide by rules. But if you don't make the SWAC championship, I guess it's a good second option.
All right. Let's address D1. Why do people say this issue? Are you asking why people saying Shiloh? They feel like Shiloh made a great play. I'm assuming is that what you're getting from?
I don't know. I'm reading it. I think they're saying if I'm reading this right, that they're not giving Shiloh credit. Like if you read the last part, I'm assuming that they want to know why people not. I'm gonna address it as Shiloh not getting any credit. I thought he read the ball well. I mean, the ball was in the air. It hung up there. He played center field. He came and snatched it. Southern's receiver made no play on the ball at all. I don't know if he fell because I was sitting in that end zone and I was just wrapped up in what was going on. So I don't know if he fell or if he stumbled or anything. But I thought it was it wasn't a play that it was a play that a safety should make. Let's put it that way. And that's no disrespect to Shiloh, but if you play safety and you play in center field, you didn't do it. It wasn't an all-time interception. I will say that it was a good play at the right time. He did he did his job.
Yeah, I think I I figured I was reading it right. Yeah, I mean, it's just Bubba just threw the ball up there. It wasn't like you're saying. It was a good play at that time, and it matters to seal the deal. But kind of like you were saying too, it wasn't like he did some superhero type stuff to go get it. It was just up in the air, just lob the ball, which I don't understand that play either. Like why just drop back and heave it down there like that? But and I think that Weidman thing was a pass interference, man, offensive.
Yeah, I kind of felt that, but
Yeah.
got this on. I don't want to sound like I'm sour, but
No. I think that
no,
was
no. It. I mean, when you got a receiver that's physical like him, you got to try to match it as best you can, and our guy got shoved down, and any other place I think you get that call. Southern hasn't been getting hardly any calls at home other than that weird thing they do with the clock sometimes. I don't understand that. They tend to run the clock a little bit more than they should, but I'm not gonna touch that. But any safety should make that play. Now whether they pick it off, that's different. But any safety should really make that play. So salute to Shiloh. I mean, he made the play. I'm not gonna take that from him.
all right. Have you been checking out Why Not Us with FAMU?
I have not watched it, man. I've been seeing it and I've been meaning to watch it, and I haven't. So I didn't do my homework.
Yeah.
Um, so, but I think I'm gonna probably end up binging it because that's kind of what
Yeah.
I do. I binge shows, so I probably will do that. Probably this week because I need something to do over the weekend.
Yeah, I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it. It's only like maybe three episodes out right now, so they still filming as the season goes. So
I I like that though. Like the thing that they doing and what Coach Prime did with his staff. I like that. That look into what's going on. That's something that SWAC football, really FCS football, doesn't really get. I think a couple teams have done it before, but I like that, man. Give people a look into what's going on and show what FCS football is about. That this is a good brand of football, and I think it's good to get insight sometimes on what's going on with teams. So I think if Southern had one, maybe it'd be a good reality TV show because I think that team
man,
is dysfunctional.
yeah, I really love it for the exposure, just attraction to it, and I also honestly, and it's getting off football, but I think that it should be more done with the bands like that too. Bethune Cookman had a little small one on Netflix maybe 2 years ago. I don't know if you saw that,
Yeah, I
but
did see that one.
yeah, it's like 10 minutes an episode. But I mean, I really would like to see some. If I had the money and the production, I would do it for bands too. I mean, that just draw people to the games. You know what I mean? Like tap into everything. We always talk about the whole HBCU experience, but I think all of it needs light shaded on it.
Oh yeah, I mean, because I know a lot of people, and this is another topic that's been beat down, and there's people on both sides that feel strongly, but it's all a package, man. If this brand of football, HBCU football, is built on pageantry, and the band is a big part of that. Now that don't mean that you don't want to have a winning football team. That don't
Oh
mean
yeah,
that you're not going to invest money in your football program, but they go hand in hand. Um, I don't know if y'all know, but Jacksonville State has they love their band, the Marching Southern Airs. They talk about their band like a SWAC band. I'm not saying that they are anything close to it, but that love that they have for their band is the same thing. So it's people that go to the game for their band. There's people that go to the band for the Golden Band from Tigerland at LSU. Ohio State band does, formations and drills, and people go for bands. If everybody's not there because they love football. Half the people in the stadium don't know what a zone read is, but they know band, they know music. So whatever gets you there is what gets you there. As long as you're in the stadium, that's all I care about. So
uh,
bring more exposure to it all.
yeah. I wrap it up with saying I think we probably talking about the same podcast that aired earlier this week about this particular topic by individual that do cover the SWAC right now, and he couldn't. I think he can wrap his head around what people are saying. I think he just want to argue for the sake of it. But just like you saying, like it goes hand in hand. He's trying to say, it ain't got nothing to do with football or this and that. But when you new to the HBCU world, I'm sure you would think like that, like he is. He's new to the SWAC. He don't understand. He don't want to admit that he don't understand, but it just is what it is. It's a big part of it. It's a package deal. It's the whole ambiance. It's everything. The tailgating, all that stuff is part of it. The banter, like
It's
yeah,
it's a full thing, man. So the more you around it, the more you understand. It's like anything. If you're not really entrenched in it all the way, then you don't understand. But in time, you can. So it's one of the things that getting out and going to games is a big deal for SWAC football. You understand more being in the atmosphere consistently. So that's how you get the culture. If you're not there, then yes, it's hard to really understand. But you just have to, it's easier to see it than to tell it. That's
right,
the thing.
right. Well, that's all I got, man. I see the fellas, two TSU guys chopping it up.
Yeah,
Appreciate y'all coming in.
I low key feel like this is a TSU show now. So I left my T off my hat, y'all, but I'm still Jags all day. I don't want nobody from Southern coming at me crazy because sometimes I've been called a Southern hater, but I love Southern, man. I'm just super critical sometimes, but um, I'm glad everybody's here, man. I'm glad y'all are tuning in, and season is wrapping up. Unfortunately, I feel like it really just got started, but it's almost over.
Oh yeah, it's really getting good. You know what I'm saying? And I hate this part of the year. Yeah, I love it, but I hate it because I know it's about to be over with. But I think we're gonna continue to keep up with a little SWAC basketball, man.
Oh
Just to
yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, man. Let's keep going because I'm gonna start. I'm gonna cover a little basketball, and I think we want to show love to the SWAC as a whole, so we're gonna keep it going. And I know the Texas Southern people gonna love that because they're a basketball school.
right. Yeah, I feel like basketball and then off season coaching changes and it'll be enough going on to kind of keep us rolling.
Oh yeah, so we'll be back next week. Well, I don't. We'll be back
Yeah.
next week, and, and hopefully after that, Coach Rollins won't be back. So I'm gonna leave on that note.
All right, man. We're gonna have to talk about what we're gonna do because I think next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so I'm sure you'll be with your family. But we'll come up with something and let y'all know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, we'll drop that information on y'all. So we're gonna catch y'all next week.
All righty.